Question 4 says, the professor describes an example. Describe how her example illustrates the concept of aggressive marketing. So in the reading, aggressive marketing is explained and just what that is. Then, the professor gives her own personal examples of aggressive marketing to help you fully understand. Now, they want you to describe how her examples illustrate aggressive marketing. Your preparation time is 30 seconds, speaking time 60 seconds. Now I have the notes set up a little bit differently on this question because she really only uses one example and she talks about that throughout her whole lecture. The big topic is, or the main topic is aggressive marketing. Underneath that, her example is a gym membership. As you know, that's what she speaks about. Then she has an idea for a gym membership and how aggressive marketing could be used in a gym. She says the gym could give a free trial. Everybody likes something free, right? So she says a free trial could bring in new customers into the gym and let them kind of feel out if they want to be a member or not. So a result would be, as I said, brings in new customers, which is always a good thing for any business. And the end result is a bigger client base. A client base is how many people know about or are interested or participate in your business. In this situation, we're talking about a gym. So she talks about how this is a great example of aggressive marketing. This is not the typical way to set up the notes, but for this specific problem, it seemed to be the best way. So let's see if you can say again what she says in her speaking time. She said it in about 3 minutes. You only have to speak for about 60 seconds, so you should be able to be fine on this. Go ahead and try it. Okay, did you remember all of her examples and all her small points about her free trial picture that she drew? I hope that you're able to say again clearly what she said. Remember, understanding what you're hearing is the first step to saying again what someone else is saying. Let's go to the next question. Question 5 says, students discuss 2 possible solutions to the woman's problem. Briefly summarize the problem, then state which solution you recommend and why. On every TOEFL speaking test, question 5 will be the same. There will be 1 problem, 2 solutions, and then you have to express which solution you think is best. For this problem, you have 20 seconds to prepare, and then you have 60 seconds to speak. Let's look at the notes. So, the main topic is the girl's problem, as you know. Her problem is a broken vase. She has to turn in a school assignment, and it's supposed to be probably for an art class, so she makes a beautiful vase, which she accidentally breaks. So, there's 2 solutions. Solution 1 would be to make a new one overnight before it's due. Even though it's due tomorrow, it wouldn't be much time, but it's still a possibility. However, She says she needs to study for another class overnight, so she really doesn't have time to make the vase before the next day. The other solution is to glue it back together, but she says that the cracks will show. She wants to look as new and as best as possible, so she won't be able to earn full credit if the cracks are showing. So there's good things and bad things about both suggestions, but you need to be able to choose which one you think is best and explain why you think that one is best. So let's see if you can do that. Try to decide on the one that you think is the best solution for her to choose. Try it. Okay, were you able to clearly communicate which solution you think is best and why? That's the key to this one. Explaining the problem and the solutions is important, but you need to be able to clearly explain why you think the solution you chose is the best one. One more question. Question 6 says, using points and examples from the talk, describe two different methods of thermal regulation or regulation of body heat used by humans. For this question, you have 20 seconds to prepare, 60 seconds to speak. Now, thermal regulation is a big word, but it's not a very complicated topic, so it shouldn't be too difficult. So thermal regulation is the main topic. Human ways to regulate body heat is the subtopic. There's two ways that are discussed in this question. The first is a physiological regulation, which means something that you do subconsciously. You don't have to think about it, it just happens when you get cold. It's called automatic regulation. Shivering is what happens when we get really cold. We start to shiver and our body shakes. That's something we don't have to think about. That's something that subconsciously happens and our body automatically knows to do. So that's a great example of physiological regulation. The next example is behavioral regulation, which is a thought process of regulation, something you have to think about doing. It's not going to just happen by itself. So some of the things that people do when they become hot is they fan their face, or they sit in the shade, or possibly drink some cold water or pour cold water on themselves. So these are two different examples of human thermal regulation, physiological and behavioral. I hope you can understand them and that you can really be able to talk about them clearly in the problem. So go ahead, give it a try. I'm sure that you'll do great. Okay, how did it go? Were you able to clearly understand the two different examples and be able to talk about them and explain them yourself? I'm sure that you did great, even though it seems like a difficult subject, if you really pay attention, or maybe even listen twice if you have to. Remember, this is not a real TOEFL test, this is just practice. The real TOEFL test comes later, and we're going to get you the best scores possible. Good luck, and I'll see you next time.